everybody we signed or drafted, so I wanted to have a little bit of prep here. So everybody doing good? Um, just want to real quick just say thank our scouting staff and our coaching staff and really our whole organization for just a great 3 days. So much good happened, and we added a lot of good players that we're excited about. Had 3 great days of just teamwork and camaraderie, and really want to thank ownership too for our new draft room. We had our new draft room was a major upgrade from what we had dealt with in 2024. So that was there was there were some moments of stress involved in getting it ready and making sure everything was going to be going right, but really a tremendous upgrade in the end, and really grateful for that. And we have really come a long way in a year in terms of our draft room and our process. So I guess I'll just open it up to any questions you guys have, or should I go through our picks? Or
That's the first question, yeah. So let's go. Let's just do that.
Yeah. Well, we started off the day with Jaylen Lane in the 4th round from Virginia Tech, a guy that we were really excited about organizationally. Across the board, he was, coaching staff, personnel staff, just someone that we were really excited about. We had a vision for him, and he was the highest player on our board when we got to that point, and it was kind of a stressful wait from noon till whenever we finally picked, because a lot of stress and kind of mixture of stress and hope that he was going to be there for us. And when he was there, it was really a great moment for us. And he does a lot of great things. He really helped himself in the spring with his testing numbers. Really, was explosive, ran really fast, jumped really high and far. Just a guy that we're really excited about. He has a really unique instinct with the ball in his hands. He's got a nose for the sticks and first downs. He's got a really unique return skill set. So a guy that we have a vision for, we're excited about, and feel like he's a great fit for what we're doing here.
And then Kane.
Yeah. Yep.
Just run through them all.
Yeah, sure. Kane Medrano from UCLA. A guy that really kind of a unique story where he's got an offensive background, and he's transitioned himself into a linebacker. Really a cool athlete, tall, long, fast. The fastest linebacker at the combine, ran sub 4.5. Another guy that really unique body type and unique athlete in terms of testing numbers. You can kind of feel his offensive history in his play. I think he has a really good feel as a coverage player. Just has a unique sense as a pass defender. We have a unique situation where Ken Norton coached him at UCLA, so we had some great insight on what we were getting in terms of the player and the person. AP, DQ, and I went to that pro day out in March at UCLA and had some great conversations about him. And another player, hate to beat a dead horse, but was at the top of our board at that time when we picked. And another one where we just had great buy-in from all sides of the evaluation process, and just were really excited that he was there for us, and it made a lot of sense for us at the time to go ahead and take him. And then in the 7th round, we took Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt from Arizona. Bill is his nickname, and what a great kid. He was in here for a 30 visit, the Top Golf deal last week or 2 weeks ago. And man, what a cool personality! What great energy he brings to any event or any situation he's in. Kind of a unique road to this point for him, where he started at Alabama State, had a couple of nice years there, stepped up in competition to New Mexico. At New Mexico, had a great season there, and then took another step forward to Arizona. Ran into some issues with like NCAA records and history, where there were some questions about how much playing time he had at Alabama State. So his season got cut short in 2024, but he turned a situation that was unfortunate into a real positive. You talk to the people at Arizona, and you talk to him himself when he was here, and they have so much respect for how he stayed engaged the whole way through the season. Was a great teammate, was a great practice player, was in meetings. It was like he knew he wasn't going to play on Saturday, but you would never know it by the way he acted and prepared. Another guy that had a great spring in terms of helping himself with worked out really well, jumped, ran fast, tested really well, helped himself in the All-Star game circuit. They're all different in their story about coming here, but we're equally excited about adding all three of them. Quite honestly, they all are players that we were really, really happy to add.
With Jacory, because he didn't get that senior year or that last year at Arizona, or just the one game, what do you go back to relying with your evaluation? Because he's coming from a different level, and I'm sure people would like to see him there. So, just what's that evaluation process like for him?
Well, obviously, you watch what he did do this year. You go back to New Mexico film. You go through really anything you can find. There's All-Star tape. There's Pro Day tape. There's obviously anything you can find to really get a great feel for the athlete and gauge how he does against the various levels of competition that he did face. Obviously, he only had the real limited number of snaps in 2024, but we felt confident with the athlete and with the skill set that he was going to bring to us. We had seen over the course of 2 or 3 seasons what he was capable of doing for us.
How would you sum up this entire class?
This entire draft class?
Yeah.
Very excited about it. It might not be huge volume, but really excited about what was available for us at each pick. And we stayed true to our board and really stayed disciplined. We came into it with the mindset that we could do that, with what we had done in free agency and with what we had done with our roster to get to, the mid-70s numbers-wise and not having glaring holes everywhere. Like, we felt like we could go into this with, hey, this guy is the best player. He makes the most sense. We're not, tied to need. We're not tied to we have to have this. And it's a great feeling going through 3 days with that mindset and being able to, hey, best player on the board, makes sense. Sometimes it was need or perceived need or whatever, but we were able to do what we felt was right every time without really being forced to do something just positionally.
I know every football team always wants speed and explosiveness, but was there something about those two traits this year that was particularly pronounced or things that you guys were looking for?
No, I mean, obviously you always want to add as much as those qualities as you can, The players that we added, really today especially, I think all had those qualities. I don't think that was part of it, but we also just really like the football players and the competitors and the people. Yeah.
Hey Lance, obviously with only 5 picks, you guys can only attack so many needs. But are you a little surprised at all that you guys didn't come away with any kind of edge defender in this year, or was that not something that was necessarily as high for priority as maybe others thought?
Well, I feel like we like what we have in that room. I think we're always looking to add if we can. If the right opportunity presents itself, I don't think we would have not added it. There was never a situation where we're not going to add that. Every time we got to where we were picking, it just made these players made the most sense for us. We weren't going to address edge at any point. There was never any conversations of that, of that mindset. It was these players made the most sense for us. And like I said, we like that room and we like what we have there. Certainly not closed to, we have a lot of time between now and the season, so there's other opportunities to potentially add there. But these particular picks, we did what we thought was best for us.
And I was going to ask, obviously you guys are in the middle of dealing with UDFAs right now. The draft just ended, so it's still happening. But when you're going through it, especially on day 3, how much do you look at the veteran free agent market and think, okay, we think there's a couple, this area, there's more guys we could get. Maybe does that factor into what you do in the later rounds or anything along those lines?
Sure. Yeah. I think the last couple of weeks we've really studied that hard and looked hard at that and had some conversations with some potential ads, So it definitely is something you think about. Hey, we might be able to add this player, in May, or so you certainly are always watching that board. We watch it every day, and we always circle back to guys and see where they're at, if they, because sometimes they don't want to do anything right now, But that's a constant. It's on the wall in my office, so I see it every morning when I walk in, and we talk about it on literally a daily basis. So.
Hey, Lance. So this is the second year of you all as a leadership team together. So did you all implement any lessons learned from last year, other than, of course, the new draft room? But did you you all implement any lessons learned from your process, last year to this year?
Sure. I'm trying to think of like even though we did this last year together, there were some new pieces. Obviously, we were in a new venue in the room. David Blackburn wasn't here with us for last year's draft, and he was an integral part of what we were doing. So, still kind of meshing through things with him all the way through from the day he got here till 15 minutes ago. So through all the meetings, through all the all the draft picks today, going through trying to secure UDFAs afterwards, everything. We've made progress, and we've definitely learned some things along the way in terms of process. We're still far from being where we want to be, but we're making strides. And going back to your original question, yeah, there were some differences to what we're doing, and I think we learn every day, what works best for us and what doesn't, and I don't think that'll ever change.
And I know at some point we'll maybe celebrate the weekend or just say, okay, on to the next thing. So with that being said, what are the next steps from like starting Monday to rookie camp?
Talking personally or organizationally? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. No. Next steps, obviously it's great having the players back. So, just having them around is great. But the next major thing for us will be to just kind of circle back with the draft class and see. There's always a couple guys that you're shocked that they didn't get drafted. You're shocked maybe that they're still on the street. And we have a rookie minicamp in 2 weeks, so we'll look to fill, those opportunities with players that maybe are still out there tomorrow and Monday. So our scouts, when I walked in here, were already on the phone, like, agents soliciting, like, hey, my guy, I don't know if he's going to get anywhere. Would you have room in your rookie minicamp? So that's really the next step for us is seeing because really when you're talking about, you're trying to track 1,000 players in the last hour where they're at, it's really hard to do. So we'll see what's available for us tomorrow and Monday, and see if there's anybody that we want to potentially bring in and take a look at that maybe surprise us that they're still out there.
Hey, Lance, now that the picture has been colored in a little better now with what you all did through free agency and now with the multiple things that you were able to do with the draft, how do you see this team as a whole in the building blocks and where you want to be heading into the season?
Well, I think we're trying to get better every day, and this building is built on competition, and I feel like we've built in every room we have, every position group, we've made the competition better. We've tried to create great depth and great competition, and trying to put the best 90 players together that we can. And like I talked about with Adam last week, every player we bring in here, we sincerely have a vision for them, and feel like we're putting them in a situation where they can potentially succeed and reach their highest possible, heights as a player. So with that in mind, we just try to fill those rooms with the best people and players we can, the best level of competition, and we'll see how it shakes out. But I think we'll never be satisfied. We'll never feel like we've reached a point where we're good, and we can not address it. I think we're always trying to address every part of our team every day, and that's just kind of our mindset, is just every day, how can we get better? How can we get better? How can we get better? And I feel like we're doing that every day.
And continuing that's actually what I was going to talk about. Most of the guys we spoke with today, they talked about competition, and that's what they want to bring to the table. Do you envision this year's draft class being able to hit the field, early in the season?
It's really hard to predict that. I think we have hopes that all of them can impact our team this year. The one thing I think we're really confident in is they'll be able to come in here and compete. And I think we told them all that, is that when we draft you and when you come here, you're going to have a chance to compete. And whatever you earn. But that's the one certainty is they'll be. But I think we have hopes that they'll all have a role and they'll all compete to have an impact on our team in 2025 and beyond.
The other thing is that a lot of these guys mentioned their faith and how that's carried them through. Some of them were captains as well. Is that a trait that you guys are really looking for in your players?
It's not like this box has to be checked or this box has to be checked. I think we have a really good feel, especially whatever this is, 14 months in or 15 months in, of what kind of a person we want here and what kind of a person can survive and thrive in this environment. I think every day that we're together and that we are here, we figure that out more and more and more, what kind of a person is going to really have success here and potentially, reach their highest heights, like I talked about, and I think in all these players, we saw the kind of people we feel like can have success here.
Got time for one more?
Lance, there's been a lot of talks in league circles about how much you guys have made positive improvements here in this organization in the last few years. So I'm just curious, in terms of the guys you brought in terms of interacting with prospects throughout this whole process, what did you guys see from them in terms of kind of the grown reputation that this organization has?
Well, I think the people that we've brought in here, whether it be in free agency, whether it be draft prospects, whatever it is, I think that they sense the excitement around this organization. I think you feel it when you walk in the doors here that the people that are in here love being here. I think that you sense that people here are trying to make it as good a place as it can be in the NFL. Not only in terms of like appearance or best this or best that, just a place where people love coming to work and love playing football and love working around football. So I think people feel that when they walk in this building. I'm proud of that. I'm sure everyone here is proud of that. That there's a sense of pride in that for us that people love coming here, and I think we're always trying to make that. That's our mindset, is just make this place great. And we're certainly not to the finish line, but we're working towards having a great organization and a great building and a great football team.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, whoa.
F. Adam Peters, Daily Planet.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why the quarterbacks made you this shirt and why they think you should be president in your platform, if you will?
Well,
I'm just busting his balls.
the quarterback room is a great room. Great men in there, and yep, that was a nice surprise from them. It's one of the great comebacks ever from that room.
You guys can dig in on that. Nice job, dude.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
So you're going up and down?
No, I'm good.
It's a long